in Taiwan and around the world. 5 members of Japan's Coast Guard are dead after their plane reportedly collided with the Japan Airlines passenger jet at the Tokyo airport. The Japan Airlines plane was engulfed in flames after landing at Haneda Airport. The airline says all 379 passengers and crew on board were evacuated. The pilot of the Coast Guard plane was the only one of 6 people on board to survive, but was seriously injured. The plane was on its way to help relief efforts in western Japan following Monday's earthquake. At least 48 people have died following the massive earthquake that struck Japan on New Year's Day. Sally Jensen has the latest on this developing story.
People line up outside an earthquake relief center in Japan's Ishikawa prefecture. It's been a tough night after almost 10,000 residents had to leave their homes following a magnitude 7.6 tremor.
とにかくガツンと来て、今までにないすごい大きな、長かったです。とにかく。
And here, the extent of the destruction. Houses toppled and cars scattered. At least 48 people are reported dead and many more injured. Japan's authorities say 120 remain missing.
現時点で救助を求めている件数は約120件あるというふうに承知をして報告を受けております。
This is how the tremor was felt in cities, as terrified residents took shelter. It shook Japan's center on New Year's Day, triggering tsunami warnings and evacuation notices across the country's west coast. Some areas saw tsunami waves of 1 meter high. Across the country, railway services were suspended. Authorities have dispatched about 1,000 people to find survivors among the wreckage, but they face freezing cold weather and blocked roads.
寸断された道路の警戒、すなわち最低限の修正で道路を開くことに全力で取り組んでいるとともに、回廊輸送ルート確立のための港湾の安全確認などを行っているところです。
Aftershocks are another real concern. Japan's most powerful earthquake in 2011, which killed some 20,000 people, was preceded by intense tremors.
国民の皆様におかれましては、今後1週間程度は震度7程度の地震の発生にご注意いただくとともに。
Out in the cold, this is not a prospect these evacuated residents would like to think about.
もうこれ以上の底はないんでしょうねと思いたいです。
As rescue teams fight against the clock to find survivors stuck under rubble, and those waiting to go home come to terms with the shock, all will be on high alert, hoping that the worst has passed. Dolphin Chen and Sally Jensen for TaiwanPlus.
Managing ties with Beijing and how best to avert war across the strait looms large as Taiwan's presidential candidates enter the final days of campaigning. So all this week, TaiwanPlus will be focusing on the China factor. Joyce Stern brings us this report on how different views on Taiwan's relationship with China are shaping this year's presidential race.
2024 could see a new world order, with elections set to take place in at least 40 countries and territories this year, and Taiwan is one of them. Voters here have a shot to elect President Tsai Ing-wen's successor in less than 2 weeks, an outcome that will shape its fraught relationship with neighboring China. Beijing does not see Taiwan's self-rule as legitimate, a stance made clear through long-standing political and military pressure, which analysts say not only targets its leaders, but its citizens as well.
The main goal of the Chinese influence to our election or to our society is to make Taiwanese people convinced they are powerless.
President Tsai is hoping to hand over the top office to her VP, Lai Ching-te, who Beijing sees as an even more dangerous advocate of Taiwanese independence than Tsai. Lies repeatedly said his view is that Taiwan's future is up to its 23 million people, not Beijing, owning the fact he's not the Chinese Communist Party's preferred choice.
我们敬请国人能够支持中国最不喜欢的候选人，要让他能够高票当选，这个是粉碎中国介选最好的手段。
One of Lai's election rivals, New Taipei Mayor Hou You-yi, has vowed to restore friendlier ties with Beijing, which he believes is key to maintaining cross-strait peace. But he's been clear he opposes Beijing's one country, two systems strategy and is looking to his opposition Kuomintang Party's forefathers to guide his pledge to defend the Republic of China, Taiwan's official name.
是中华民国，我的妈妈这个国家保护着我，所以会守着清国先生的奉献跟牺牲，好好的建设我们的台湾。
Former doctor turned politician Ko Wen-je has been hailed as the less predictable third option for president. He's bidding to be an exception to what he's called a boring, traditional two-party system. On China, Ke also says his goal is to protect Taiwan's freedom and democracy. Taiwan's on the verge of a historic election that could see one party extend its rule past 8 years. The return to power of a more Beijing-friendly option, or a leader who could shake up the local and regional order. With all three candidates stressing that the Taiwanese people should decide their country's future, fulfilling that will be up to citizens as they show up to cast their vote on Election Day. Luffy Lee and Joyce Sun for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's military is creating realistic combat conditions to train its new soldiers. Tiffany Wong reports.
Simulating war. New conscripts in Taiwan's military will now be experiencing the sights, sounds, and tensions of war through a new realistic training program. It's part of renewed initiatives to bolster Taiwan's combat readiness in response to growing military pressure by China.
在演练期间，采用射击机枪空包弹和数枚的 TNT 炸药，用来模拟战场上的真实环境，也在提升他战场的抗压性和心理素质。
The training will affect new conscripts born after 2005 beginning this year. They're the first cohort in over a decade to serve a one-year mandatory service, up from the 4 months of service required since 2013. President Tsai Ing-wen announced the measures last year in order to step up Taiwan's defenses. Now, the Army's youngest conscripts will undergo 8 weeks of basic training before testing their skills on a battlefield obstacle course, meant to prepare them for the mental pressures of warfare.
枪声、炮声啊，或者是那个爆炸的声音等等啊，让他们实际有这样子的心理的体验。训练的时候可能有一些，实际上那个接近战场的一些这个训练，像射击的时候的那些行进训练啊，变换这个阵地啊等等。
Although it may be challenging, future Taiwanese conscripts say they hope the new, more intensive training will help them respond to situations quickly should war come.
炸弹在旁边先炸一下，就是不会受伤那一种，可能我们就比较有办法应对。
哪天真的战争来的话，那就可能会有更多的有那种经验可以去应对。
And despite the extended training time, these combat drills are meant to help prepare conscripts as best they can, with the aim of leaving the future of Taiwan in capable hands. Patrick Chen, Sam Hui, and Tiffany Wong for TaiwanPlus.
3 active duty NCOs from Taiwan's Air Force have been arrested for allegedly selling confidential information to China. The Defense Ministry says the case centers on a sergeant at a radar station who may have been in debt to loan sharks, and a named woman has also been arrested in the case. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Before we go, take a look at thousands of swimmers in the Netherlands running into the chilly North Sea to celebrate New Year. I'm Sandy Chi, take care and see you next time.